Hi, I'm Ruby. Welcome to an introduction to academic structures, where we'll deconstruct some of the different assignment structures you may come across during your time at university, and discuss how focusing on the purpose of your writing can make the logic behind these different structures a little clearer. There are many different types of writing structures, from arguments to reports, reflections, and creative pieces. The list goes on, and this can feel a little overwhelming. But by recognising that there are writing fundamentals which remain constant across all writing styles, and that the differences are then related directly to the purpose of the writing, writing to these different structures is made a little easier. So let's have a look at what remains consistent across different structures of academic writing. So while the structure may change, at the end of the day, all good academic writing tells a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. An introduction is still an introduction. It gives the reader a clear idea of what's coming, and it often provides some background information and contains a thesis statement. A paragraph is still a paragraph. It contains a topic sentence, evidence-based key points with a logical progression of ideas, and transitions between these ideas. And then this is all wound up with a concluding sentence, transitioning to the next paragraph. And then you guessed it, a conclusion is still a conclusion. It summarises and synthesises the ideas presented throughout your writing, and most importantly, it doesn't contain any new information. And now we have an understanding of the consistencies across different structures of academic writing, let's have a look at some of the differences. As we go through these different types of academic writing, remember that there's lots of support available to you. Flinders provides a range of study guides for each of the different styles, as well as videos and interactive resources covering your academic writing queries. So feel free to explore the Student Learning Support Services flow page for more of these resources. Let's begin with arguably the most common type of essay you'll be asked to write, the argumentative essay. We all know what an argument is, right? We've been having them with our siblings, family, and friends for years. And while writing an argumentative essay often requires you to present a persuasive point of view, here you're doing something quite specific. An academic argument does not always indicate a disagreement. It can be used to persuade someone that something has merit, explain and support something we think is true, or highlight the difficulties or challenges of something. This is then the story that you need to tell, and it goes on to inform the structure of your writing. So your argument will begin with an introduction and background information, followed by a paragraph containing smaller arguments used to support the overall argument of your piece. And this is all tied together with a conclusion. And a quick tip, if you're unsure about the content of an introduction, body paragraph, or conclusion, check out some of the other academic writing resources available on our flow page. Another style of writing you may come across is reflective writing, and you'll often be asked to write a reflective piece following a placement or a practical experience that you've had. And we've all thought back and reflected on something that has happened to us in the past, and an academic reflection is not too dissimilar to this. However, our statements do need to be supported by evidence. The purpose of the reflection is to help you think about what you've observed or performed and how you can use the literature to help you understand this experience, as well as inform your future practice. And as with all forms of academic writing, understanding the purpose of a reflection allows you to think about the structure. Typically, a reflection contains 3 parts: a description of the event, an understanding of the event as it pertains to the literature, meaning that your statements and understanding of the events need to be linked back to the literature. This can and often does include standards of practice or government guidelines. And finally, a demonstration of your understanding of the relationship between the reflection and your future practice. So how will what you've experienced and learnt help you? What are you going to do next time? Understanding these 3 parts can help form the structure of your body paragraphs. And don't forget, these paragraphs often need to be framed by an introduction at the beginning of your assignment and a conclusion at the end. And remember, as with most forms of academic writing, while the content has changed, the structure of the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion remains consistent. This leads us into another form of academic writing at uni, case studies. Case studies are similar to reflections, but are generally based on a given scenario. These scenarios are often complex, involving multiple people, and detail a problem or issue that you need to address. Like reflections, case studies also require you to provide a description of the issues or problems in the scenario and link the theory to practice by providing suggestions and solutions with reference to the literature. It is essential that you follow the assignment guidelines and rubric provided to you, as often case studies do not require you to provide the traditional introduction or conclusion. However, if you are required to include them, they follow the same conventions as most introductions and conclusions. Now let's switch gears and move into the world of research-focused academic structures. But even if you aren't conducting your own research, stick with us. These are important structures to be aware of. If you've performed an experiment or conducted some kind of work, you may be asked to write a report on this. Reports are required by a range of different disciplines, but generally, the purpose of a report is to describe, analyse, interpret, and report results. Again, this purpose is then directly related to the structure. And while the paragraphs within a report often have subtitles and a specific purpose, such as methods, introduction, results, discussion, and conclusion, once again, the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusions within reports all follow the same structure that you know and love. In addition to the paragraphs already mentioned, reports often contain a specific type of paragraph known as an abstract, and you may have come across these if you've been reading some published journal articles. The abstract is a condensed version of the report and allows the reader to gain an understanding of the aim, methods, results, and significance of these without having to read the entire report. But again, it tells a story and follows the academic conventions of a paragraph. In order to gain an understanding of the research previously conducted or the current state of play in a particular field, there are two types of assignments you may be asked to create: an annotated bibliography or a literature review. Generally, both an annotated bibliography and a literature review allow you to produce an overview of the literature on a specific topic, but they're different in their structure as they are different in their specific purpose and content. So let's have a look first at annotated bibliographies. An annotated bibliography is a list of books, articles, websites, and other published works on a particular subject, providing the publication details, an outline of the major findings, and often contains commentary on how the publication is, or isn't, relevant to the topic being researched. Relevant to the purpose then, annotated bibliographies are often structured as a list or even tabulated. Often there's not a requirement for an introduction or conclusion. However, make sure you check your specific assignment requirements. Annotated bibliographies are to the point, providing a quick, critical guide to the reader of the key publications in the field and serve to demonstrate the analytical capabilities of the writer, as well as the depth and breadth of the literature search conducted. A literature review encompasses much of the same information as annotated bibliography, but takes the information one step further by providing a comparison of the different publications. It goes beyond a summary or descriptive list of sources, with this compilation, comparison, and evaluation informing the content of each paragraph. And in fact, the creation of an annotated bibliography is often a great first step to creating a literature review. You can use the details contained in your annotated bibliography to help form ideas in your literature review. There are many reasons to create a literature review, but the main ones include understanding what people have already done and what they've already discovered. A literature review then follows a structure similar to that of a traditional essay, with an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The content of these paragraphs will differ from other forms of writing, but again, the structure of each component remains the same. Now we've had a quick look at the different structures of academic writing, where to now? If you're looking for information on the structure of a specific type of academic writing, check out the guides on our flow page. Or, if you're ready to get started in the writing process, check out our Kickstart Your Writing series to learn about the steps you need to take to research, plan, and draft your assignment. Thank you for watching, and best of luck with your writing.